So, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So, we ran the last episode. What did it end up being? Was it 45 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, it was an hour.
It was an hour, and we still didn't get to cover everything that we wanted to.
We made the rookie error of doing it on a weekday.
On a weekday. So we have a Sunday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Awesome.
We have 12 hours ahead of us. So
and one water bottle.
So hydrate up, lock in. Have you got any fuel, any gels with you?
No, not today.
Well, it's going to be a marathon.
My rest period.
The deload.
Yeah.
So we wanted to cover a little bit more. Obviously, we kind of started off with the beginning of your story, which has been amazing, really, really interesting. We kind of want to pick it up to where you are now.
Yeah.
What you do for work is quite interesting. So do you want to just start off by kind of giving us a bit of an introduction, telling us what you do?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm currently doing UGC work, and I'm also adding event content creation onto my service. I've literally just started 2 days ago. It was my first wedding, but it's interesting. I came across a story, an ad of this chick basically saying, she does event content creation. I was so intrigued about what it was. Yeah. And she basically does event content creation with her iPhone. And I'm I've done that before. I've done that for comps, sporting events. And I'm that would be a great addition to the UGC stuff. So UGC is basically user-generated content. I create content for brands and their products or services, to promote on their social media or for a paid ad. Yeah. So if you're scrolling on Facebook and Instagram and you see an advertisement of, a product from a normal person saying, 3 reasons why you should buy this product, that's basically what I do. Yeah. But I only started this at the beginning of this year. Yeah. And before that, I've had a long, very similar to the event stuff, a long journey of career paths. I've never stuck to one thing. Yeah. And I've done actually a lot of reflecting on that. Yeah. And it's because I think I'm scared of locking into one job that I have to do for the rest of my life and just living a very repetitive lifestyle. Yeah. Because I've had a taste of that. And I was very, not depressed, but I was just naturally really down. Yeah. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't doing something I was passionate about. I grew up working in my family business for a long time, and even just trying to get out of my family business was very hard because with my parents, it's you have to help us. Yeah. Why hire someone that we have to pay when, we can hire you and can help you out a little bit, underpaid definitely, but my parents have never asked for a dime in rent. Yeah. They always help. If we needed something, they would always help us as kids. Yeah. So they had I don't know if you guys know of the Ali Barbers. There's a few around now, the kebab shops. So they had their first one in Mariba. Yeah. So, and then they came down here, they got the Stockland, Smithfield. So all the Ali Barbers has been my family. My parents started it.
I love kebabs
so we've
much.
Been a
big
part
fan
of the reason why I grew up fat, right?
Shaving off that meat, off that
the garlic sauce.
I think we need to do some market research after this.
So after high school, and even throughout high school, it's always what do I want to do? I have my dad in my ear, you should be a doctor, your sister's in pathology. Yeah. She came here to Australia from Turkey with not knowing how to speak English, got a really good OP, and now she's top of the line pathologist. Yeah. So I have that in the back of my mind. And in the other ear, I'm just myself, I'm not really good at anything. Like I said, I was the underachiever. I wasn't academically smart. I wasn't sporty, but I was always creative. That was my little thing. I was always great at arts, craft. I did music for a long time. But the creative arts thing is always I don't know, people don't take it seriously. Yeah. After high school, I ended up enrolling in creative arts and media, a bachelor's degree at JCU. And, whenever someone asks you, oh, what are you studying? You say creative arts, and they're like, oh, what are you really studying? Or oh, are you actually studying? It's always a bit of a joke if you're an art student, which I didn't quite like. So I did that for a little bit. I went over to Townsville. I came back after 6 months and just did stuff online. And then at the same time, I enrolled in Griffith for criminology. Oh, so I was at JCU and Griffith at the same time and working, trying to be this hard-working person that my parents always wanted, just to make them proud. But I didn't want to study. I really didn't know what to do, but I thought I would just do something that I could pass because I was great at arts. I was great at, videography, photography, stuff like that. Not professionally, but it was a hobby. Yeah. So I did that for a bit. And then I had to come back and work at the shop because my parents just needed the help. So I was trying to do all of that at once. And then got a bit like, I was just really sick of it, had this bit of like life crisis where I'm like, what am I really doing with myself? I wake up, I'm unfulfilled, I'm not passionate about anything I'm doing. It's assessment after assessment, working at the shop 7 days a week. I'm dealing with people that I don't want to deal with. I was just pretty miserable. So I decided to let go of the criminology stuff because I thought to myself, being in that industry, it's not a positive one. It's very like you're dealing with people that have a lot of trauma, you know, that are naturally very, you know, aggressive and angry. Obviously, there's pros to it, you know, helping people, but I just couldn't see myself, you know, living like that. And then I just thought, you know, I should really just finish this creative arts degree because my parents can tell my family that I have a certificate or something like that, you know. So I got to a point where I had one subject left of my creative arts degree, and it just felt like I had a conversation with someone actually, and they're like, you just really need to stop living for your parents. And that really stuck to me, and I thought, I feel like this, people always say, you should have just done the last subject and got the certificate. But to me, that was a really big deal because for my whole life, I've been trying to make my parents proud. You know, coming from being overweight, being fat, not being good at anything, and especially like with Turkish families, like, you know, these like the ethnic families, it's always like, my kids are the best. You know, you have to flaunt that to everyone. I was just like, I really don't want to live like that. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm just like not living my life to the fullest because I'm trying to make my parents proud. And I obviously want to make my parents happy, but I can do that doing something that I love. So I didn't do the degree. I mean, I didn't do the subject, so I didn't finish the degree. I have no bachelor's or anything behind me. And then I was like, what do I really want to do? So it was a bit of an awkward phase where I was just like a bit up and down. You know, I see like my friends online who are fully, you know, married, have kids and have a degree and living that, you know, that lifestyle that we always picture that's perfect. And then I just kept working at the shop and I got into my health and wellness stuff. And then I thought, oh, you know, like if I keep at this, maybe I could be like a PT. And I saw this chick online, also inspired online again. You know, she came from a background of being very anorexic. She's doing great now. She has her own gym. And I'm like, wow, that would be really cool if I could just like, you know, help other women that went through what I went through, being overweight and stuff and becoming a lot healthier. So long story short, I went and did my Cert 3 in Fawn Fitness. I got that under my belt and I started my online coaching page, which I did like. I did enjoy, but what I enjoyed most about it was the creative side of it, like the social media, the Canva, you know, putting together videos.
Another queen here.
Oh, I love it so much. And I'm like, what do I really like about this the most? Because I sort of felt like it wasn't something I was completely passionate about, but I sort of just thought it fit me because I've had the story and I've had the journey and people can relate, but there was just something missing. So I should go back, a bit before this. This was probably like 2 years before. That's when I started posting online. So when I started my health and wellness journey, I lost a bit, like 10 kilos or something. And my birthday is the 5th of January. So when the year starts, like back then, I'm always like, I can't really start my New Year's resolutions on the 1st because like I got my birthday coming up. I want to drink, I want to have fun. So I'm like, that has to happen after. So I went away for my 21st birthday to Airlie Beach and I had like not the best time ever. So I decided to come home a bit earlier. And it was literally me on my 21st birthday in bed, just like very depressed, crying because something just happened that I didn't like. And I was just in bed crying, just scrolling on my phone. And I wasn't much of a TikTok person back then. Like I never liked just like watching the reels. I was always more like Instagram and YouTube. But this chick popped up on my page, scrolling, and she's like, all right, it's the new year. Like, I really want to, you know, smash X, Y, and Z goals. This is going to be my journey of, you know, and she's average girl. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, I actually enjoyed her presence, like how she spoke on camera. And I was like, maybe I should do something like that. Like, I've lost 10 kilos. I could put some like tips out there and just share my journey. So I posted one video on TikTok and it was just like, this is like my day of, you know, trying to better myself. And it just popped off. Like it just got a lot of likes, a lot of views and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like this has never happened before. And then that kept going on and on and on. I built like probably like I got to 40K on that account followers wise, but then something happened with the account and I had to start a new one, which is the one that I currently use. But that was hectic. Like waking up to followers and likes and stuff, people liking who I was online, like, and just being completely authentic. Back then, there's no strategy. Like, you know, now everyone talks, you have to have a business strategy, a content strategy.
Tell you how to go viral and stuff.
Yeah, but back then it's just like, come for a hike with me. You know, come for a walk and I'm just going to talk about
like sharing your journey.
Just sharing my thoughts and stuff. And I started to realize like there were a lot of women out there were just like me. They had been through everything that I've been through with the eating disorder, with, you know, being overweight and losing weight and then like completely hating themselves. And now they're trying to find that balance between enjoying life and still losing weight, but loving it. So that was, and I still use that account to this day. I'm not as active because a lot of my life is online and it can be very draining, like very exhausting. But I constantly reassure myself, like, it's okay. Like, I don't need to be posting every week. Like, I don't need to be posting every day. If like on my personal page, there's sometimes like there'll be like weeks that I don't post on it, and that's completely fine because it can get, like, it can suck you in a hole that you don't want to be in. You know, there are some mornings where I used to, like, wake up and just check my phone. Like, I need to check my phone. You know, who has commented on, do I have any hate? You know, these people messaging me. So that's definitely something to dive into. But fast forward, I did my personal trainer degree. Wasn't quite sure what to do there, and it got to December where I was like, okay, do I want to continue that this year or not? So I happened to come across a story, right? One of my online friends had started like this coaching business. I didn't know what it was for, but I just followed her for support and stuff. And she put up a story of the UGC stuff. And I responded, I'm like, what is this? You know, I've seen it once, but like, what is this? And she said, you know what, you'd be actually great at this because you have an online presence, you're great at talking to a camera and stuff like that. So she basically explained what it was. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting because when I had my TikTok page, the one that I grew, like I always had brands like pitching to me and saying, you know, could you promote this product in return, you know, for a free thing? You know, you post a video, you get a free product, but I could never come to doing it. Like I remember I got sent one product and I just froze on camera and I couldn't promote any products on my page, on my personal page. I feel like it was this thing where I didn't want people to think I was ingenuine or only doing the TikToks to get these products or to, you know, get paid to do it because that personal thing is it's just me sharing my life and like my story and stuff. So it felt very ingenuine. But when she said, you know, you could do this as a job, I was like, this is really weird because I think I'd love that. You know, like not having to post on my personal page, but I could definitely make this a job because I've always loved just creating videos, like filming and editing, like being creative and people saying like, that's cool. You know, people being completely like satisfied with my work. That's what I loved. And I was doing that for the gym I was working at. And I'm like, maybe the social media stuff and the video creation. And I was like, maybe I could do this as a job. And it literally felt like the universe is like, I'm gonna give you everything you've ever wanted, and I'm gonna put it right in front of you. If you want to take it, you can, and if you don't, you don't. But it just feels something that I'm completely passionate about for once, and I'm not like scared to do it. Like when I've done previous stuff, trust me, I've applied to the army. I've done a flight attendant course. Like I've done so much stuff, but I've never been completely confident in myself. But like the perfectionist stuff I was talking about, like growing up, over-underachiever, not believing in myself. But this was something that just seemed so easy to me. You know, I love, you know, just creating stuff and being creative. That's where I think my advantage is, my strength is. So going into that now, it's been, since January I started, and it's been great. Like I make money from it. Obviously, I'm not at a point where I'm making thousands of dollars, but
Trust me, me neither.
But it's a journey, like, and I really see myself continuing this for a very long time. And that's something scary to say because I've never been able to do that. But when I say I'm scared to stick to the same thing every day, like the repetitiveness, that's what's so great about it, because it's every day is different. Like I get to wake up, I create something different for a different video. I have different brands reaching out to me. I have different events. I have, you know, different companies, different businesses reaching out to me. I get to film in different places. Like every single day is different, and it's not your typical wake up, you know, do your morning routine, go to the same job, talk with the same people every day, having the same conversations, coming home and doing the same night routine. Like, it's completely different. In my journey, with the whole, you know, starting up on TikTok and stuff like that, and posting my journey online, and now doing it as a job, really.
I feel like that's such a big part for so many people like our age coming through, is like, you don't want to be stuck in a job that you're going to be doing for 40 years or something like that. Like, I had that same realization where I was in a office job doing like marketing, and I was there for like 6 to 12 months, I think. And just looking around, like people were celebrating being there for like 40 years in the company. I was like, far out. I was like, I do not want this. Like, and then that's when I went full time with my business as well.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So I was just awesome. Like, I don't want to be that person that's like stuck there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my parents, I love my parents. They're so hardworking. Like if you look up hardworking dictionary, my parents' name under it. They grew up obviously not having much. You know, they have the typical story. I started working when I was 9 years old. You know, they didn't go to school. All they know is work. And growing up, it was always 7 days a week, open to shut. You know, my dad, every single day without a doubt, whether he was sick, frustrated, angry, happy, he was out there working. So I never got like a relationship with my father. It was always good morning, Dad. Good night, Dad. Like that was it. Like he was there physically, but like emotionally, he wasn't there, because he was a hardworking dad. Like he got things done. He was the breadwinner. Like if we ever needed anything, he gave it to us. Like super fortunate as a kid. And even my mum doing the exact same, but having to manage like 5 kids. You know, it's ridiculous. So growing up, it's always like, I need to be hardworking. And to them, like, they always said, you know, you have to work at the shop, you have to work hard. And just watching my parents grow up, you know, like take care of us and working every single day. Like my mum is chronically ill and she's out there every day working still. Like it's just, they can't stop. And I'm like, I understand, like, we need to work hard, but I do not want to live a life where it's just like, I'm 50 and I look back and I have no memories. All it is just work. So I'm trying my best to set myself up to be able to have, like, the location freedom, the financial freedom, the time freedom, but also still work and do what I love doing. Because if I'm not doing what I love doing, I'm like, what's next? I need a
That's so important, because something we've spoken a lot is that freedom around the time, money, and location. But if you're not passionate about what you're doing and you don't love it, then there's no point in, you know, having that freedom, because you don't want to be there. And on the other side of that, like, you guys saw you like the variability and the change in your daily role and things like that, and that suits your personality. And there could be a lot of people out there on the other side that like the stability, they like the routine, they want the same people to talk to, the same thing. So I think, again, it just aligns a lot to your personality and what you like.
Definitely.
Because, you know, on the other side, you are the, you know, creator of your own income. I think, you know, that could be quite scary, like not knowing, you know, if all your clients decide, you know, they're done with you, then, you know, that could be really scary as well too. So
100%.
I think, you know, obviously both sides have pros and cons.
Absolutely.
I think like a big part of what you said was like around parental like expectations and stuff. And that changes for like so many people I talk to. I feel really blessed because like I just had a single mom, but she was never like, I expect you to be X, Y, Z. She was very supportive in like, whatever you sort of want to pursue, go do it. That's your thing. Like, so I know that I'm like super blessed to have that. And like that really fed into like being able to have the confidence to just go do your own business or anything like that.
Absolutely.
But I feel like in your case and many of my friends' cases, it's like you sort of have your parents on your back to be like, like you said, be a doctor, be a nurse, go out and like start a business or something like that. Like they're setting such high expectations on you, and it might not be what you actually want for your life. And I feel like that's something that's probably like in the back of your head. I don't know if like you guys have faced that for your parents.
It's such a strange concept to like to make your parents proud. Like what does that actually mean? Like, again, it's that whole thing of like the, you know, chasing down the goal and that goal fatigue, and you achieve it. And it's like, okay, but like, do I feel fulfilled? Like, you know, sitting down, having your parents look at you and be like, I'm proud of you. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a moment in time where you feel fulfilled and happiness. But are you dictating your whole life just for those, you know, 3 words?
I think it's the other side of things as well, because you're like, you've seen your parents do so much for you. Like, I can see it from that perspective. Like, your parents have done so much for you that you want to give back to them in some way.
Yeah.
Which is why you feel like that responsibility to want to go achieve this for them and give back to them. But then it's also like the other side of like, hey, you're your own person and like, this is your life.
You live your own life.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to get to, like you said, 80 years old and look back and feel like you didn't get to live it on your terms.
Yeah. Like, something I always thought about was, you know, imagine if I did take this path and doing exactly what my parents wanted to make them happy, and then, you know, there's going to come a time where my parents are going to pass away.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen after that? Obviously, I can make them proud when they've passed on, but, you know, I'm going to sit here confused, like, what am I going to really do with my life now? You know, like, I might be 40 or 50. My parents are gone. I'm working in a job that I wanted to make them proud, but I don't like it. What am I going to do with my life now? You know,
so what the same conversation is as well too is about like setting your children up. So, you know, you have some cultures where it's like, oh, I need to give back to my parents. I need to buy my mum a house. I need to make sure that they're, you know, financially secure and they're happy and they can retire. Versus the other side of the coin, it's like, I really, really need to, you know, work my ass off so that I can give my kids the same life I had. And it's like, okay, but where in that are you like living for yourself?
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true. Yeah.
So
like I always say, life is so short.
Yeah.
Like, really.
I think it's so hard too. It's like, especially in that grade 12 or whenever you finish high school, whatever, you get so much emphasis on being pushed into what you're good at rather than what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're good at math, engineer.
Yeah.
Like, you're good at biology, you're going to be a doctor.
Or even like pressured to pick something. Which I think is like, in your case, you tried so many different things, which is probably something a lot of us should do. Like, that shouldn't be looked at as a bad thing, like jumping around different jobs or trying different things.
Right, that's true.
Because you are finding what
That's
you do
true.
like. Yeah.
My parents are always like, oh, what now? My sister, bless her, she's heard everything. I always went to my sister first because I knew she would listen, whereas she would be like the approval. All right, maybe do that. And
package it up like this, say it a bit different.
Yeah, but like I've honestly tried everything under the sun. And this is also something I wanted to talk about on the other podcasts, is where like we compare ourselves to people online, you know. You know, if I'm in public and compare myself to this like beautiful chick that walks by and I get down about myself, I always think, would I want to be her? No.
Yeah, Ben spoke
about this on the jealousy episode.
I actually listened to that. I listened to that.
Yeah, that concept by Naval Ravikant, where he said you're not allowed to feel jealousy if you're not willing to do a 24/7 100% swap with the person.
Wow,
you can't you're not allowed to be jealous if you're just taking, I'm jealous of their car, I'm jealous of their husband, I'm jealous of their family, I'm jealous of their home. No, because they might have an absolute mountain of debt they're sitting on. They might run businesses where there's so much pressure and stress that they can't sleep. You're not allowed, you have to take on all those if you actually want to be jealous of someone.
And the scariest thing is too, like when you think about like back when you were a teenager and you said like you got that photo you put up where you were like the smallest or lightest you've ever been and you're in a very unhealthy mindset. You put that photo up and then you have other girls looking up and be like, oh my God, she's like so skinny, I want to be like her. But they don't see the back end of it. And you've had that experience and you just think like so much. Like I know I look at people in business that have made so much money. You got like Wolf of Wall Street where like they're embezzling it or whatever. You know what I mean? Or personal trainers. I'm like, you are in, like you see people at the gym. You're like, you're in amazing shape, but like they're either on steroids or they haven't eaten for the last 3 days. So it's like you never get the full picture. And it's so much of a focus on that highlight reel.
That's so true.
That's something I have to remind myself every day. I just think you don't want to be them. You're completely happy with who you are and, you know, your journey and what you've been through. Like, obviously, things could be better, but they could be a lot worse. But, you know, that's something I always have to remind myself is you don't want to be them. You know, so don't be so caught up on their long blonde hair or their blue eyes or, you know. So.
Do you think that is why UGC content is now really starting to find its stride? Because isn't there something going around at the moment called Blockout 2024, which was the big celebrities getting cancelled because they attended like the Met Gala and everything like that. And it was like 75 grand a ticket. So they can do that in the face of there's a war in Gaza, there's a cost of living crisis. Everything in the world is going to poo, and they are just doling up and then just like pretending that the problems of the world don't exist, and people are starting to turn off the celebrity endorsement of like the influencer endorsement because before before UGC, you know, that is how you got a product review. You pay Kylie Jenner, and then that's how your business. But now our feeds are filled with just regular normal people like yourself doing UGC, and from what I've read, it seems to be popping off a lot more and having more reach.
It's more authentic.
It's more authentic. This is what I'm coming to. So it's I think people are starting to have a shift in mindset where they're more attracted to watching videos that's authentic and real, as opposed to, we know that Kylie Jenner probably doesn't use the product that she's selling. Why would that invoke me to buy it?
Absolutely.
But if it's you, just a normal person going, I really love this, it just seems more genuine.
Also like an average person living an average life with average
it's relatable.
difficulties. So, you know, something that you would actually use to make your average life a little bit better versus someone that has everything catered to them and don't even, you know, face those same issues. So, do you know what I mean?
Like, for example, if I want to like go to a salon or go eat or something, I'm always looking at reviews from real people. Whereas if it's like someone that's paid to write a review that's a celebrity, I'm like, no, I want to see the real stuff, the real people, the authentic stuff. So 100%, so true.
So what was leave us 5-star review on Spotify.
I gave you some review on Facebook.
We know we've already forced people to 5-star our podcast. What was the point? So you had the big TikTok following. You got the first product, and you said you couldn't bring yourself to do the work for it. What was the actual point where you then got the product and went, you know what? No, this time's going to be different. And what did you do differently, and what can you tell people to get that first step?
It was more of like a work relation thing. Like when I post my journey and stuff, that's just my private. That's like the UGC stuff and posting is completely different to the personal stuff. So when my friend said, you know, you could get paid to basically do what you're already doing, like create videos and stuff, I'm like, that would be absolutely amazing.
That's ideal,
because that's something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't think it was ever a thing. Like to me, like being paid to create videos and post them online, like I'm like, I'm living, you know, like this isn't work for me. It's not a chore. But what was the second half of your question?
So what was the turn? Yeah, what was the turning point that made you, like, what would you say to someone that's listening to you right now? And going, I would love to be able to make money from social media, and I like taking videos, and what was the point where you then got the product and went, you know what, I have the confidence to actually do this for money now.
Well, first thing I did was I actually purchased a masterclass. Like I didn't know anything about UGC. Like I did my research. What is UGC? How is it used? How does it work? So I got a little bit of help from my friend that had posted the story. Super cheap, like $150 masterclass. I took it, and then straight away she gave me all the instructions on what to do. Create your social media accounts, you know, post your journey. She gave you tips on what to post, because with UGC, like I solely rely on brands reaching out to me. You know, a lot of that's called inbounding, whereas like outbounding is where you pitch to brands. But because I am, you know, I focus solely on my social media and putting myself out there, brands come to me. Whereas if you're solely relying on, you know, reaching out to brands, they want to see what you're like online. So the first thing would be is definitely doing your research, and then doing the steps that she told me, like opening up your social media accounts, building a community of people that also do it. Because I've also realized like everyone that does UGC is so nice. Like
it's a good
so
community.
Supportive. Whereas I'm so used to everyone being like a little bit competitive. Like I remember even just at uni, like you ask for someone for help, no one's helping you. Everyone's sort of like, okay, so I'm not used to that. So it's a very welcoming community. So doing your research, getting up your social media stuff, but also knowing how to film and edit. Like it's definitely something you need to know, because it's getting a bit competitive. There's so many creators that are coming out saying, you know, I'm doing UGC, I want to work with brands, but you really have to stand out. So having a bit of either experience or learning. You can YouTube it.
Yeah.
Like there's everything online you can access for free now. Doing that and just honestly believing in yourself. Like a lot of people message me saying, I'm falling a bit short. I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, you just need to believe that it's going to work, and it will. If you're pouring negative energy into that, it's not going to do you any favor. But do the basic steps, like get help, learn how to do it. Because it's not hard. Like, really, it isn't hard. Or, like, sometimes it's just me putting my phone up and just talking about this water bottle and how great it is, But also, like, you can't sound scripted. You need to be you need it to flow. Back. Like what I say is talk to the camera as if you're talking to your bestie about like a date you're going on with this new guy. You know how girls do, like, girl, just like tell me about
that's
it.
Fair.
Like you just need to pretend like that phone is your best friend, because sometimes it's a struggle. Like sometimes people find it, it's hard to talk in front of a camera because they feel awkward. But practice makes perfect. Just keep practicing. Like what I did was what the chick told me to do is build a portfolio. Like I just created small videos at home with products I already use. So then brands can see your style of editing, how you present yourself online, how you talk into a camera. Do you sound scripted? Do you use your body language? Are you good with eye contact? Just little things like that make such a big difference. So it's almost like get some products at home, whether it be like a candle or a scent. And
a bottle of tequila.
A bottle of tequila.
Hey guys, this is my favourite tequila. I black out every Saturday night on it.
And what I did was I just created 5 videos from I did at home, put it on my portfolio, and then I just started posting my journey. So that's the big thing that I always focus on, because people want to see what it's like to live a life as, a creator or, a financial advisor or all that stuff. They want to see the behind the scenes, and that's something I focus on a lot, because that is what gets great engagement. Because that's when I was online searching, like that's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see these people that were triathletes, but like what
the process rather than the product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. So I've solely been focusing on that and not reaching out to brands, but just pushing the social media and them coming to me. But
how long was it between like you starting and actually getting that first sort of brand deal?
I landed my first paid deal on the 9th day.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah. But you already had a bit of a following though?
But this was completely
this
new
is
account.
Brand new account.
I didn't I didn't post the UGC stuff to my personal account, because to myself I'm like, am I going to do this, or is it just something I'm going to do and then like completely flunk? So I didn't post it to my personal account. It wasn't until a bit later when I'm like, okay, this is serious. So I completely started like a new TikTok, a new Instagram and everything, and have just been building that.
That's hectic. 9 days though. Like,
9 days.
The brand or like?
It was this. It's funny. So I wrote up a list of brands that I wanted to work with and some products that I wanted to get. And it was one of the brands. They're these beautiful beach rug throws. They're very bohemian. So they sent me 2. I got paid for it. And it was great. And then after that, it was just like one after another, after another. I've worked with like in all different niches, like health, wellness, outdoors. I've worked with hair care, skincare, beauty products. Like really you have a lot to work with.
I'm guessing for you as well, right? Like it sounds like you're picking products that you would actually use. Like it's not like you're going to any sort of brand, any brand that came to you, you wouldn't just be like, oh, yep, like...
Because you lose that genuine...
that
genuineness.
Like, for example, this brand reached out to me. They wanted me to do a video on like this necklace, but like you can breathe into it as like a vape replacer or something. And I'm just like, good money, would not promote. So there are definitely products, but there have been products that I've accepted and I've done videos for that I've never used, but I know I will use it. Like for example, I just recently did a collab with this hair care brand. Love their products. Didn't use it, but they said we're going to give you 2 weeks to experiment with it. If you like it, do the video. If you don't, just leave it. Love the product, did the video, and now I use it every day.
That's awesome. Also, you know what I love is like no one's getting free promo right now.
No.
We're not naming anyone.
No.
There's this type of brand and that type of brand.
But no, it's incredible. Like every girl's dream is to receive free products, right?
Yeah.
And I think I would love to receive free shit too.
Yeah, like I just did my first Airbnb as well. That was incredible. Free 3 nights accommodation in return for a UGC video and some photos I'll add in as well. I really want to do like the travel stuff more often. So say if I want to, you know, travel to New Zealand, I can pitch to like Airbnbs or hotels and stuff and do videos for them for free accommodation.
So you know how there was that that shift, I don't know what, maybe like 5 to 7 years ago, where like businesses, like big commercial businesses, noticed the shift that they had to start paying like creators and use that as a form of marketing instead of like commercials and things like that. And there's a lot of businesses now that are starting to understand this UGC and move towards that. Do you think that it's still in the early stages before it's mainstream? Like there's a lot of businesses that aren't jumping on it yet?
Definitely. Like I'm pretty sure UGC only started a couple to a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's still quite fresh. But it is going to get a lot more popular. So that's why, like, as a creator, you need to be super creative and stand out. Yeah. Otherwise, you know, it's just not going to,
yeah. But you've also, like, adopted it early as well, too.
Yeah,
so you'll have that track record in history.
Yeah, and I want to be really good at it. Like, I believe I'm great now, but I really want to excel and be one of the top creators. I really do. That is a goal of mine. And it's funny to say that because with everything else, I would never picture myself as being great at something. You know, with the criminology stuff, it's like I want to be a homicide detective, but I never really believed I would be good at it. You know, I want to be a flight attendant, but I always had that, you know, thing in the back of my mind, you know, if something were to happen and you can't do the task, and always constantly downing myself, low self-esteem. But with this, I'm like, I know I'm creative and I want to try and be the best at it. But even with the brand stuff, like with businesses now, what I always recommend, like it's hard. As a business, you definitely want to have, you know, your business social media and stuff popping. But what I see now is people doing less of the business stuff and more of the personal. So if you wanted to, like for me, when I was doing my personal training stuff, what I realized was I needed to promote less of my services and promote more of myself. So then people will like me and want me as a coach. So I definitely see that going in a direction as well with businesses where business owners need to step up and show themselves, show the, you know, behind the scenes of their business and their life. So people be like, I really like her. I want to come to her salon. Whereas if it's just like, my business is this is my services, you know, this is the hair that I've done today. It's great, but like, I think marketing stuff's definitely going to go in a different
People
direction.
don't connect with it that way because it's like people do business with other people. Like it's not, you're just buying services. Like they actually want to get to know that person, connect with that person.
I think especially for services as well too, because like if everyone unless you were the #1 provider of that service, if it's like quite a flooded market, the only thing that's going to separate is the person that's providing the service.
And that's the thing, you know, if business owners don't want to do that, that's where UGC comes in and it's so great because you get a normal person that's very authentic, that's going to share a review or a testimonial of your services or your products. So definitely I think if, you know, because social media is very exhausting, it's hard, it's time consuming, and business owners, they don't have time for that. You know, I had someone message me, like a tattoo joint in Smithfield, asked me like, we really want to step away from the social media, but they know it should be prioritized because that's how they're going to generate leads. So getting someone in like me to shoot videos of them, of their salon, the tattoos that they do is great because they get to step back, but they know that a creator is coming in is going to be able to create something great that they can.
So you're going to do UGC for them? Like you're going to come in with a face tat? And
It's going to be so weird. Like I don't have tattoos at all, and I'm going to.
Imagine your parents.
Oh, dude! If my dad ever.
Imagine getting a tattoo just to make like an $80 reel. Like damn.
They just cop the tattoo. That's it.
Now this thing comes off, right?
I could never get a tattoo.
So you're saying this is what you're now passionate about, which is amazing that you found this. What is the biggest challenge you're facing in this content creation UGC journey?
Yeah, just being on my phone. Like it's like.
But you have to make the money.
Yeah. So it's like, say you go to work, you clock in at 9 a.m. I clock in 9 a.m. in the online space. So I'm like online all day, creating content, being updated on my social media, make sure I'm responding to all the comments. I always set aside time to respond to all comments on my social media and talk to people that message me. You know, there's not one person that'll leave hanging because that's like, you know, it's great to talk with people and build a community, but it's also good for yourself to, you know, put yourself out there, meet more people, connect with other creators and stuff like that. So being on my phone is draining. And like, if you check my
screen usage,
it's like, you've gone down 15%, average 8 hours. And, you know, like
I think
ridiculous.
mine's up around 6.
Like it's just like, it got to a point even when I was at the Airbnb and I'd created in one day like 4 UGC videos and my brain was just in pain. Like it was hurting. I'm just like, I need to clock off. But also when you work online, your phone's always there. So you're always working. Like I was up late last night on my computer till like 12 o'clock, just like on my computer working. But it's because I'm so passionate about it. I don't really mind, but it definitely, there's a time in a space, in the day where I just need to be like, let go. Like my partner, like he'll be cooking, I'll be on the bench sitting, just doing work. He goes, babe, you really need to set boundaries for yourself because this is going to become too much. And I think people think that, you know, working online and being a UGC creator is like all this fun and games. Like it's definitely great, but there always are pros and cons to everything. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be, your fingers are going to hurt typing to people. Like now I just voice do stuff. Hey Siri, can you type blah, 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 because I'm too exhausted to type. You know, so that's probably the biggest challenge right now is being on my phone a lot, but also like you said, there's not steady income every week. Like I'm super fortunate. I have a fantastic partner who was like, I will support you 100% until you get your feet rolling. And, you know, like when I left my previous job, he was like, you know, because I really wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to get out there and start making money for myself, be employed and, you know, work for myself. And my partner was like, if that means you like not making any money for a bit, just that's all good. So I'm very fortunate to have that support behind me, whereas some people don't. It's hard for some people to just leave their job and start something because, you know, where's their income? Where's that coming in? So definitely that's also a hard part as a creator. It's great to be, you know, self-employed, but there's not a set amount that's coming in every week to pay my bills. But the pay is great. You know, if you're good at what you're doing and you're confident in your work, you can get, you know, great amount of money. Like a few weeks ago on the weekend, I did a 2 to 3 hour shoot for a video. I took 2 videos, one 30-second video and one 10-second video. And in that 2 to 3 hours, that included editing, scripting. I was talking in the video, so I didn't have to script, you know, do a voiceover. But I made $1,100 in those 2 to 3 hours on a Saturday. So that, to me, that's the most I've ever made in a week. I'm cool. You know, so I'm really trying to set myself up for that. But I know with doing the services as the event content creation, that's going to build up my weekends as well. Like weddings, businesses throughout the weeks, you know, stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to have a lot on board and we'll be, you know, making a good amount of money, but it's going to be very exhausting because all it's going to be doing is on my phone. You know, like today I'm going to go and buy a work specific phone.
I was just about to say that, and keep it separate.
Because I can't mix match. Like it's just too hard. Like I'm quite happy that I don't have a lot of friends. So no one's really like, oh, come hang out or we should go. I'm just like, it's cool, you know, like I'm quite happy with that. But just being on my phone and not having that steady income every week. But when the income does come, like it's quite good. But then I'm like catching up on bills and, you know, I'm trying to give back as much to my partner because he's just been so incredible and so awesome with allowing me to do what I want to do. And even since meeting him, it's always like one thing after another. I want to do this, I want to do that. So he's like, okay, she's taking this shit seriously. Maybe I'm going to help you.
Maybe you just need to do a few more of them Airbnb UGCs and bring them along and be like, well, I'm taking you on a holiday every week.
He came to the last one. I said, look, I want the first night to myself because I want to spend the whole day filming. And my partner's not a social media person. He hates social media. He doesn't, you know, follow anyone. He doesn't, he's just, he's living in the real world, baby. He is. So having him there when I'm trying to I can't talk in front of the camera when he's there. So I was just like, babe, I'm going to have the first night on my own and you can come on the second night. So he did it and he was like, wow, this is incredible. Awesome. We get to stay at a beautiful Airbnb Mission Beach. We get to go out a little bit, you know, and we only spent like $200 to $300 on food and drinks and stuff like that. So he's like, this is really cool. Yeah. You know, we have goals of traveling overseas and stuff. And I'm like, I could just pitch to an Airbnb or a hotel. Yeah. You know, if I want something, I can use that to pitch to brands, even if it's just a free product. Hey, I'm a UGC creator. I love your product. Would you be, you know, open to a gifted collaboration? Because brands love gifted because they don't need to pay you for the content. All they do is send you a product. And then so it's definitely something I've been
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, like what's your sort of like value proposition to businesses to be able to say like, this is like the value I'm bringing your business to show them like what you're doing is actually like impacting. Because
sometimes they think it's like a joke.
Yeah.
You know, like with business owners that have been in business for years, you know, they may have done like social media in the past and stuff. Telling them that, you know, I'm going to create a video for your business and stuff. They can't take it seriously sometimes, but people that are completely wear an update within the whole social media stuff, like they know this is very valuable.
Especially like the large brands too. Like they would obviously have marketing teams that understand it.
And marketing budgets.
Yeah, marketing budgets as well to put towards
for traditional.
Yeah. Like I always ask, you know, if I'm talking to a business, like what's your budget? Because there's always like a negotiation. Because some brands will pour their heart and soul into UGC. Some won't even spend a dime. You know, some are like, because I get heaps of emails like as gifted collaborations, you know, and you know if they're not going to pay for it, they're not really taking it seriously because they think like just giving you a free product is as good. But really it's like my time, my creativity, my filming, editing, my scripting. Sometimes they don't give you a brief, so you get full creative freedom to do everything. So it's actually a lot of work being put into it. Being on camera, it's like when you're naturally on camera, you're putting on like a thing, you know, you're very expressive. So that's exhausting. That's what I find exhausting. If I have to film a sentence and I have to film it over and over and over and I'm putting on this face, it gets exhausting. Like it really is. But it's hard. It's just trying to introduce and give them a little idea of what UGC is. And I always give examples if they aren't currently using UGC. I had an author reach out to me and she's like, what's UGC? Because she follows me on TikTok. She's like, what's UGC? You know, I haven't really dove into it yet. I'm like, this is what it is. Here are some examples. And I also send analytics as well. That's really good.
Yeah, nice.
Like for the Airbnb stuff, I'd never done an Airbnb one before. But a while ago, I went to the Tablelands and just posted like a cute video of an Airbnb I stayed at with my partner. And it was just like me explaining it, like a little voiceover. And it got like thousands of views. So I'm like, I'm taking that analytics to show to my, you know, future Airbnb people.
That's amazing,
so they can understand what it is, because sometimes brands just have no clue. And it's usually like the older generation of business owners as well. So always providing, like explaining what it is and providing examples and also analytics, because that's what's going to be like,
it points back to
them.
it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been on the other side of that, trying to like organize UGC creators for brands and like trying to explain it to like a business owner, because like they were like, oh, we'll just send them a product, or like we'll pay them like $30 to do a video. And I'm like you don't get how much time is going into this and how it's actually gonna help with everything else you're doing.
Benefit them.
Like it's not just like people are just gonna click through and like purchase, but it's like the whole framing of it is better than you trying to put out some like over creative ad that's like just selling your services. Like this is actually a genuine person that people are going to connect with.
100%. That's super cool though. I didn't know you were doing that.
This man has done everything.
No.
Everything. I found out the other day when we were in the pool, he's like, about your Instagram page. He had quotes. Was it quotes?
Yeah.
And he had like 80K on it.
Yeah.
Sold it. Did you you?
Yeah.
Did you sell the account?
I did, and I wish I didn't, honestly. Like looking back, because I'm like, man, I could have like...
What you could do with an 80K built up.
Because at the time I had the same thing. Like I had been doing it for like 2 years on Instagram, built it up, and it was just like quotes and stuff.
Wow.
And then I was like, I'm so over this. Like I'll just sell it. But like looking back, it's like... You could actually just reposition it.
I love it.
I was just wondering, is there? I'm just curious. With the UGC space, it's focused on some kind of tangible product you're reviewing and selling,
or
right?
Service.
Can you do UGC for a service?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like a professional service, because you don't see that in the professional space.
Like if you go on massage or something, you could use it for that.
Well, that's what I'm going to do for the the tattoo joint. Like I have also a meeting tomorrow with a lady that's just opened a skin clinic. She wants me to come in and do like ongoing work for her. You can definitely do it for a service. So say like, I also had a hairdresser lady, she's like, if you can come in and do a video, so it's basically me coming in, like showing the place, me reviewing it, and then showing my hair transformation and saying how incredible it is. Like that's the service they are giving. So then it's just referring back to like, I got my hair done at Here and Here, absolutely loved it. You guys should go in and check out Kelly. She's amazing. Just stuff like that.
So what is, once you filmed all the content for the brand, what happens with that end product? Does the brand then have complete creative freedom over what you've created for them? They can post it as many times as they want. They can post it anywhere, stories, socials. What is the...
Yeah, so that's a great question. Always have a contract to outline all the boundaries and stuff. So with my rates, it differs between posting organically or for a paid ad. So I have like 3 months paid ad usage that you can buy from the video, whereas it can be lifetime, but that's obviously going to cost a lot more. So if a business is just posting it organically just on Instagram and Facebook, it's a lot less. Whereas there are like add-ons, you know, if they want like an extra hook or an extra call to action, like there's a list that they're given.
That's amazing that you like thought through that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like if you're a brand and I make you a video, say for like $400, right? You go post that lifetime and you're getting constant leads. Like I should be getting paid for that 100%. But like the process is what it is. So I create the video, I send them a draft with a watermark so they can't take it. They review it, they go, okay, that looks great, or could you please make this change and that? I'm like, okay, cool. I make the changes, I send it again with a watermark. They're like, okay, cool, send me an invoice, they pay me, and then they get the video without a watermark, completely finalised and everything.
Boss moves.
But having a contract that states, you know, everything is so important.
I think that's going to be the difference, though, between when you're saying everyone's going to want to get into this, the ones that are doing it and stumble their way into it versus the ones that are doing it professionally, where you've got a contract, you've got a tiered paid list.
Business acumen.
It separates you from the rest.
Absolutely.
And you're protecting yourself then as well, like long term. I've seen that with so many like photographers as well. Like they might just take photos for people and then like it's just like a 2-hour shoot or something, sell them for like a couple $100. But then that person's like ongoing usage compared to other photographers that might have like licensing for their photos and all that.
So definitely having those boundaries as well is so important.
But just knowing what you're worth too.
What you bring
to the table.
Absolutely. Like I'm so confident in my rates and everything. Like I know it's actually quite fun. Like I love getting a brief from them and they're saying we want this, this and this shot, and it's like a challenge to me. It's like I'm gonna try and create this the best I can, and for them to say, we love that, you don't need to make any changes, it's just so satisfying to me. So also having confidence in your work and your skills as well, because you know, if you set your rates high, you're not, you know, performing well, the brands are not going to work with you again. You know, there are some brands that are like, we love your work, we want ongoing work done. That's when you know you've done a good job. But also being professional, like being able to communicate, don't leave things last minute. And just like knowing how to write emails. Like some people email me, like creators, you know, and I'm just like, you really need to change this and this. You need to, you know, you're self-employed. You need to be professional because some people won't take this seriously. Businesses won't take this seriously, but if you show them that, you know, you're good at business, you can do everything, that they will want to work with you again.
So as this UGC space starts to expand, where do you see the future of it heading, and how are you positioning yourself to take advantage of that? Are you upskilling your videography skills, your editing skills? Are you doing more courses on like business acumen to like move it forward?
That's a great question, and something I thought about the other day is like, I'm not young forever. You know, I'm not going to be the face of a brand forever. So definitely setting myself up to maybe eventually start coaching when I get a bit older, coach the younger, you know, people of UGC, selling ebooks for passive income. That would be great. Set that up and just, I don't know, like I know it's definitely going to get big, but there are going to be so many creators out there, like they have to be absolutely incredible. So definitely upskilling myself, maybe doing a course, you know, maybe eventually selling a course so people can buy as like the passive income stuff. So there are definitely a lot of ways to, expand, like the event content creation stuff. I don't know anyone in Cairns that does it. So that's great, putting myself out there and doing that is an add-on that I'm putting on, because that's something I could fill in my weekends in. So just slowly thinking about other things I can do, definitely, but I'm sure a lot will come from it.
Okay.
But right now it's just like, okay, I need to get the ball rolling, focus on the now, and just do the event stuff, do the UGC, and just, like I would love to eventually get jobs in like down south and like Tasmania, or a brand is like, we want you to come to New Zealand and shoot, accommodation, food, everything paid for. Like that would be great. I feel like right now that's not taken as seriously, but once it starts, getting up there, UGC and stuff, it would definitely be a thing.
100%. It was interesting how you said, like, imagine it for services. Like, I was just thinking about you too, like, with your own sort of, like, roles. Imagine someone coming in, like, for you. It's like, hey, I'm here with Ben, like, helping me out with my finance.
He just generates some wealth for me.
I'm just because I was thinking that. I'm just like, how would you do UGC for financial planning?
Oh, right. You know what? I even thought about doing a video for the podcast.
This is just an extended 1 hour UGC.
Like I could come and do a
There will be a
video.
watermark over this.
Are you looking for the best podcast for self-development? Are you lacking in the self-development?
Well, all the ones they're really busy. Can't talk to them. But there's the betterment guys. They're very available.
I was thinking how you're like, oh, like that's so professional. You got the contracts, like, and then you got the other people that just stumble into it, like us, just like.
Yeah, 100%. Just hey, you want to come a DM? You want to come on the podcast? We're leveling up.
We even tried as well. Like we're like, oh, what's your favorite drink? And you're like, oh, I'll just bring water. Don't worry. Like, what's your favorite color? Don't worry.
No. That's funny. I was like, they're really putting in the effort.
We're
like,
trying.
It's
we tried.
great. No, it really is. I want to be eventually like that person in Cairns where people are like, I wish there was someone that could do this. And someone's like, oh, you know Sumbul. She's right there. She can do exactly that for you. So that's the main goal at the moment, is to get myself out there.
Just building it.
In the Cairns community in far north Queensland, like Port Douglas, Mossman, like Innisfail, stuff like that. Townsville would be great. And then eventually like...
the world.
National.
Miss Worldwide.
Hey guys, just doing a daily vlog from Mars. Virgin Atlantic took me up. Just a little.
We're chilling.
Just chilling with my new friend. Oh, it's an alien, whatever.
That's that 1 year vision, like.
The coffee like floating out.
Space vlog UGC.
So good. But that's the main thing at the moment, is just focusing on the now, and then eventually I'll think about the things in the future, like the coaching and the ebooks and
how
stuff
exciting.
like that.
We can't wait to watch your journey.
Honestly,
Thank
you so much for coming back. Hey?
No, thanks for having me, guys. You guys are incredible, really.
Oh, same to you.
I love being around you guys.
That's very sweet.
Thank you
so much.
Bye.
Ciao, Samuel.
Bye-bye.